Hello there. How are we? Hope we're well. It's me, John, and I'm back for another vlog. And well, today's vlog, I'm actually confirming something finally. Something I have mentioned a couple of times in some previous vlogs, and that is, of course, the holiday in September has officially been reserved and booked. And I just wanted to talk about that. When I meant a couple vlogs ago, I can't remember how many ago, but anyway, a couple vlogs back, I did mention that it might be slightly controversial about the choice of us where we're thinking of going. Well, what at that point in time, it was just a thought we had, and we did go to the travel agents that week that I made the vlog, or was about to, should I say, and kind of formulate some kind of plan and just see if it does actually work, or if we can actually afford to do it. And we got suggested an option which we thought wouldn't actually be possible. It was a slight change of what we was originally thinking about doing, and then the suggestion from the woman at the travel agents, she suggested something else, and it actually got us thinking. So we come away, had a thought, had a chat a couple of times, me and Smithy, my good bud Smithy that I'm going away with, and we had a bit of a chat, and we said, yeah, that sounds a good idea, and it sounds more beneficial going all that way. We might as well do that, because it is quite a long way we're going, and it's the first time we've ever really been there. And of course, I'm being a bit cryptic, but I will say now we're talking about going to America. Now, theoretically, when I last spoke about this was just something we were looking at doing. We hadn't booked anything, we hadn't made it all concrete or anything like that at that point in time. But as of yesterday of this, well, actually, yeah. Yesterday of this vlog going up. Obviously, this vlog might go up early hours Monday morning now. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, basically, we went to the travel agents. We've been saving up over the past. Yeah, we've been saving up steadily to pay something towards the reservation of the holiday. We haven't paid it all outright, we've just reserved it. It's all booked and done. Everything's all sorted in with that side of things. And yeah, I know, like I keep saying about it being slightly controversial, mostly with the political side of things that's going on at the moment in America, with a certain tangerine buffoon that is in the White House. Yeah, but end of the day, like I did say in that vlog where I spoke about this before, before now, I did say that it would be, some people might see this as a controversial move. Some people that I know probably won't like the idea of us going there, because they might see it as we are supporting what's going on at the moment, even though I'm completely against. Me and Smithy are both against what's going on at the moment in the news in regards to what's happening. But like I did stress in that vlog, life is all about moving forward. Life is about living, and you can't go through life not doing this and that just because of some political stuff going on. You've got to move forward. You've got to enjoy life the best way you possibly can. And I like to travel. I've always wanted to go to America for a long time. Ever since me being a kid, I've always been wanting to go to America. Mostly, I've always wanted to go to New York. I've always wanted to go to Florida. I've always wanted to go to either Disneyland or, one of the Disney parks. And I've always wanted to do Universal Studios. I've always wanted to go to the NASA Space Center, things of that nature. I've always been fascinated with wanting to go to America. ever since I was a kid. And even though where we are going isn't any of those places, but it's still our first exposure to America. It will be our first exposure to America, and they are areas I never thought I'd ever really check out because they were never really on my radar when it came to going to America. But the only reason why America came up was because mostly it was a wild card. It was a suggestion by Smithy, my good friend I'm going with. It was a suggestion by him, and he was looking at options. We were going back and forth and looking through brochures. We were looking at European places. We were looking at all sorts of different destinations. So we just could not put our finger on an option. We just could not put our finger on an option, basically. And Smithy suggested America, and he just put, for a bit of a laugh, he just put some results in, and he came up with some prices that worked out. If we was to go to Spain again, obviously we've been to Spain 3 times, and if we went to Spain, say for 2 weeks, it would work out about the same as it would do for us to go to America for a couple of weeks. Strange as that may sound or may seem, but that is the truth. Spain is relatively quite expensive to get to. It's not as expensive when it comes to the day-to-day expenditure, because obviously it's euros, not dollars. However, getting there, accommodation and flights and everything, all that stuff added up. And for the duration of stay and everything like that, it's still it is pretty much about the same as it would be to go to America for 2 weeks. The original plan, as I did mention in a previous vlog, we were going to go to Atlanta, Georgia for the full 2 weeks. And the travel agent we spoke to at that time, she said that it's not as she didn't think it was beneficial for us to go for a full solid 14 days in that area because it's relatively a smaller city and there's not as much to do as there would. It's more beneficial to just do a week there because you'll be able to cover a fairly large amount of what to do there. So basically, a week is more beneficial for that area. At least that's what she said. Of course, we've never been to America. We can't really say if that was crap or not. Because at the end of the day, I'm not a travel agent. I don't understand this kind of thing as much as she would. But yeah, so she suggested instead of that, how about a different location to add on to that for the 2 weeks to get a bit more out of, to get more for our money, basically. And she was looking on the computer and she said, well, Nashville's not very far from Atlanta, from Georgia, Atlanta. Nashville's obviously in Tennessee. It's a different state, different city. And she said it's roughly about an hour duration of travel between both parts. And she said that would actually probably work out for you. And that's what we've gone with. So we're doing a week in Atlanta, as I said, and a week in Nashville. And this past weekend, this past Saturday, should I say, me and Smithy met up about 1ish in the afternoon, went and got a coffee, had a little quick chat before we went in, what questions we wanted to ask and things of that nature, and we wanted to try and save a little bit of money on it because it was a little bit over budget. And we managed to save a little bit of money to make it under budget, which is good. So yeah, we, like I said, we've been saving up saving up for quite a little bit over the past, I don't know, month and a bit, maybe month or two, month and a half. We've been steadily putting in saving towards the deposit side, and we both put some money down on the deposit, booked it, and is all done. So September, we're flying out the 5th of September, coming back, flying home the 19th. I think it is, and we won't be getting back into the UK until obviously the 20th because of time zones and differences and that. So yeah, so we'll be flying home technically Friday there, and we'll be arriving back at home, well, back in the UK, morning, late morning, early afternoon, the Saturday, the 20th. So yeah, that's the plan. So obviously, like I said, I think I've got the holiday booked off already. I put the holiday form in about a week or two ago. I think that's all gone through and it's been put through the system. So yeah, I've got the holiday time needed booked off for that. I've purposely took off the Monday of the next week. Because, like I say, this is the first international flight I've ever done, and I don't know what I'll be like when it comes to jet lag. People suffer with jet lag differently. Some people it's straight away, and some other people it's there might not be that much jet lag. We might not really notice anything because it's not that much. Well, there is a relatively difference in time zones and that. But it's not as severe as other countries. Say, like if I went to if we was going to Japan, they are like 10 hours ahead of us. They're like something like 10 hours ahead, give or take. So they're practically in the future in a way. So there's a lot of people say jet lag is pretty bad for Japan, especially if you first time going there because of the time zone and everything, and it takes a bit of time for you to settle into that time zone. But with America, well, where we're going, I think one destination is like 5 hours behind us. So they're 5 hours behind the UK, and what the other one is, I think, 6 hours behind. So there's like an hour difference in duration, time zone differences between the two places we're traveling to or going to when we're there. So there might be a little bit of jet lag. It might more or less be we're just really exhausted because of the flight and everything and the rigmarole that comes with traveling on an aeroplane. I mean, when it comes to traveling on an aeroplane, I'm used to that now because obviously I've been. This will be the fourth. Yeah, this will be the fourth holiday abroad that I've done. Obviously, I've not. This will be the first international flight to the point where over the Atlantic Ocean sort of thing and going to America. So this will be the first long haul flight, should I say? It's like going to be like a 10 or 11 hour flight, something like that. So yeah, it's going to be the first experience for that kind of length of flight. So I don't know how my body's going to take it when I get there. Nobody does until they get to the destination. Like I say, jet lag, it can come in. It could be a delayed reaction. It could also be straight as you land. Pretty much, you might feel a little bit funny. I'm hoping I don't feel too bad. Some people don't even get affected by it. Some people just don't really have a problem. Some people do, some people don't. People feel it differently. There might be a delayed reaction, things of that nature. But yeah, I purposely took off the Monday of the week of me going back to work after we fly home. So it gives me pretty much by the time we get home on the Saturday, I'll have pretty much all of the Saturday to get home, unpack my stuff, put stuff in the washer, get stuff washed, and just kind of de-stress myself and probably get myself to bed at a relatively good time, depending on how I feel when I get home. And then I've got all day Sunday and I've got all day Monday off, so practically I've got like 3 days. Technically, you know, kind of thing. I'll have technically 3 days before I have to go back to work. So I just wanted to do that because, you know, I don't know how I'm going to be like when it comes to jet lag, basically. But some people might think I've been lazy and overthinking things, but end of the day, after a long flight like that, and it's going to be a crazy, crazy time, hopefully, because we've gone with, the reason why we've gone with Atlanta first is it's kind of like easing us into it. It's going to be a bit more of a chilled out. The first week is going to be a little bit more of a chilled out kind of thing because if it's not as a big, it's not, the city isn't as big, it's not as vast, and there won't be as much to do. Even there'll be quite a lot to do, but there won't be as much to do as there would be for Nashville, for instance. Nashville is a much bigger city. Obviously, it's much more music centric, which is right up my alley and Smithy's alley. We like our music. Yes, I'm not a massive fan of country music, but I do like a little bit of country music. Not all of it. I don't mind. You know, I like a bit of Johnny Cash and stuff like that. But it's. I mean, we do like our music. And it's obviously much more centered around music culture in Nashville, of course. So I think it's going to be a bit more of a, you know, we want to kind of like start the holiday off in a chilled out environment and then come home on a high, basically, when it comes to coming home from Nashville. Hopefully that'll work out like that. But yeah, we are going to America. It's all booked. The only thing I am a little bit concerned out, well, I'm actually not going to say anything because I don't want to jinx myself. But, and I'm just going to, yeah, it's just a little thing I do, touch wood. But yeah, I think all will be fine. I think all will work out fine, I think. But yeah, that's the vlog. Just wanted to have a little chin wag. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I've always wanted to go to America ever since I was a kid. Yes, I've never really thought about either Georgia or Nashville, to be honest with you. But it's our first step. It's our first, you know, foot in on American soil. And it's our first taster of that side of America. So yeah, the future's still bright. You know, there is still a possibility we will probably get to go to like places like New York and so on. But yeah, for now we're settled on Atlanta and Nashville. But yeah, a complete wild card has come to reality. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, very much looking forward to it. So thank you very much. That's the vlog for today. Hope you enjoy, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. And take care of yourselves, and bye bye for now.